Hey guys, per usual, everything on this channel is for educational purposes only and is not intended as financial advice. So another week, another article for Brave New Coin. I'm going to talk about some of the charts from the article in the video as well. So let's get started. The moral of this video is going to be, I really want some consolidation before we do anything else. I'd be a lot more comfortable in the consolidation zone up to 200 days if necessary. And I'll lay that out. I think it's too early to go up. It's too early to go down. There's certainly more charts I'm going to show you that are bullish than bearish, but I think I'm neutral overall. Like I said, I'm not going to be trading until after March 11th, even though I did once and I got burned. If you want to see my record lately, you can go to one broker and look at my profile. I think I'm like 20% over the past month, so I haven't been doing great, which is why I'm just going to stay out until after that date. This I showed a few videos ago now. It's still active. It's bearish. 3 drives. We've had 3 rallies. Until we get a new high, the possibility of this zone is still there. In my heart of hearts, do I think we're going to go that low? I don't, but that's what the TA is showing. And in this video, I'm going to show you OKCoin and Stamp. This is BLX, Brave New Coin's index. But again, I don't really expect it to go this low, but that's what the 3 drives would dictate. So here's some other charts I've either talked about on Twitter, I've talked about in Brave New Coin articles, I've talked about in videos, just to show you why chart patterns are important, where we were, where we're going, some targets. So on the weekly chart we had the inverted head and shoulders. The reason this looks not equal as far as the measured move is concerned because it's in a log scale. So the target's still 9,500-ish. You can see we've kind of already touched that, 9,500, 10K-ish. So whether or not this was a throwback and we're going to go higher versus we're done, I don't know. Here's how it looks on Bitstamp. You can see 1400-ish. I haven't really gotten that high on Stamp anyway. I think the reason it's gone higher here is just fundamentally the yuan weakening really pushed Bitcoin prices and CNY higher and higher faster than USD. That's weekly inverted head and shoulders. And then we have weekly cloud on China. And again, everything's still bullish, just like I said on the daily cloud in a few videos ago. Which happened was, as long as we have this space above the cloud, we can oscillate, vacillate, whatever, perambulate in this real estate indefinitely and still be bullish. So that's difficult to trade, certainly, but it's possible that we, down the road, from months from now, we can just drop down and do all sorts of stuff, and I'll show that again to you on the daily. Everything is certainly bullish on the weekly, telling you you're going to make more money going long than short. Here's weekly Stamp. Again, everything's bullish. TK is bullish. Prices above cloud. Cloud is bullish. The zones to watch would be like 655, 465. Should we decide to dive into this area? If we do break the Kijun, 655 is probably really high probability, even though it's even below the horizontal here at like 750, just based on the flat Kumo. Which is a 50% fib of probably this move from here to here. It's probably 655-ish. Daily CNY cup and handle. This is a rough measure, and it's a rough cup and handle. I left volume on off all these charts on purpose, so volume does not match what this chart pattern should be for a cup and handle, but I'm drawing it anyway, and this is the target, 1200. I'm not really going to reference the other charts on all the other charts, it'll just get too confusing, but this is clearly above the previous inverted head and shoulder on the weekly's target. Here's USD. Target's somewhere up in 1400 range, which matches the inverted head and shoulders weekly target. Now here's the CNY old Pitchfork. And you can see on this Pitchfork, it kind of loses me around here, or it just doesn't really make much sense, which is why I like the new CNY Pitchfork, which kind of resets and has us banging on the median line here. So if this is a buy zone, this is the sell zone, median line's the high probability zone. So we're pretty much there, which says we're almost, neutral, how I think of it anyway. And again, on Stamp from the old Pitchfork, it fits a lot better, and we're at the median line, sort of consolidating over the past day or two. Here's the new Pitchfork. You can see we're below the median line. We definitely hit the median line, consolidating past day or two. So daily Stamp, remember the weekly had all this black space between the TK lines, and we sort of bounced around here. That can happen on the weekly. Everything's still bullish. Everything was still bullish despite all this happening. The trend remains bullish. That's only based on cloud. The TK lines are more or less your entries and exits. So like I said, your entry would have been down here. Exit would have been here for sure, based on the TK lines. Now obviously this would have been super late, which is why you use another system for stops and closes, which I'll show you in the video later on. The next thing I'm making a big hubbub about is prognostication of the TK cross on the daily, which historically has owned the TK recross above cloud specifically. In China, it doesn't really look like it's going to happen above the cloud. It looks like it's going to happen in the cloud, which is fine. Historically, bullish TK crosses above or in the cloud after a rally have only happened 4 times. It's all in the BNC article. I'm not going to rehash that, so you can go and read that. But it's only happened 4 times. Of those 4 times, it's only been continuation once. Despite me saying bullish TK crosses above the cloud are the strongest continuation signals for continuation on the cloud system, which is now counterintuitive because I'm saying this bullish TK cross really isn't going to go anywhere. I don't expect it to go anywhere. If you look on the daily stamp, you can see it's going to happen regardless of the current price within a day or 2 here. So we're going to get a TK cross, which traditionally dictates you to open a long. So there's 2 ways to play this. You can open a long no matter what, as you should, because all signals are flipped bullish. The moment all the signals flip bullish is when you open a long. And those signals are price above cloud, bullish TK cross, bullish cloud, and lagging span above price above cloud. I don't have the lagging span on here, but lagging span is above price above cloud. And the last signal to flip bullish would be the TK cross. So again, use the TK crosses for entries and exits. So TK cross is going to flip bullish no matter what. What are you going to do? Historically, it says it's not a great play. You could open a long, as you should, based on the cloud system, and hope for just parabolic insanity, which is certainly possible. Historically, hasn't happened. What I'm really expecting is something like this. Now here's an example of one of the 4 bullish TK crosses we had, sort of almost above the cloud or in the cloud. So this was after the run up here, and you can see we got 200 days of ascending triangle. I'm really hoping that we get the same thing here. This is CNY chart, ascending triangle for like 150 to 200 days. Obviously that's painful to sit through, but it's a lot easier as far as the signals are concerned, in my mind, whether or not to go long or not to go long. Here's how it would look on stamp. I just sort of guesstimated. And the important part is the cloud just kind of moves up sideways, slow moon the whole time. The support just moves up, and that, is echoed by the diagonal on the ascending triangle. So I can sort of expect that here. And I mean, you can almost see the fractal. Looks very similar. The dip in the cloud. Now this was Mike Hearn rage quitting right here, January 16th or something like that. So if we get another like fundamental quote unquote event where the dip happens, that'd just be too ironic, but it's certainly possible. And lastly, this is for the ascending triangle stuff. This is just superimposed ascending triangle fractal. I think this fractal will be a little tighter, a little higher. So it probably will be less than 200 days if it plays out like this. This is like super guessy, but that's just what I'd like to see. And then the target for that would be about 1800 in USD. Okay, down to 4 hour. Now 4 hour had an inverted head and shoulders among a few other things. So the inverted head and shoulders target still is about 8K CNY, which we're about halfway there now. That tells me this still has legs based on that target. And again, to measure that, you just go from the top of the head to the neckline and then from the neckline up. Pretty simple. The harder part on CNY is kind of determining where the neckline is. I just kind of used the previous resistance on both CNY and USD to sort of determine the neckline for that. It just sort of made more sense, the horizontal there. And again, 1100 is about the target in USD, and we got to about 1040. So we probably have one more drive left to complete at least this target. So the confluence of resistance, again, is anywhere from like 1100 to the previous local high here. So it all sort of matches roughly. As far as entries are concerned, this is what the B-bands look like. Again, anytime price goes sideways, just turn on the B-bands and wait. So you can see bands get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. That's called the B-band squeeze. And then your entry signal is the first candle above or below the B-bands that closes above or below the B-bands. So your entry would have been here in CNY, would have been here in USD. Again, similar. That's what you want to see. And where the entry would have been on 4 hour cloud is any one of these 4 candles, which again matches B-bands. So if you want to like use everything together and wait for B-bands, as you know cloud is already leaning bullish because we're above the cloud, or above the TK lines, above the Kijun anyway. Everything on cloud at this point was bullish except the lagging span. So if you want to wait, until everything is good to go, if you don't believe in cloud or B-bands, whatever you want to do. And another thing is this flat Kumo always remains the target. Even if we don't hit it while we're in the cloud, it definitely remains the target indefinitely until we hit it when we're out of the cloud. And you can see we had like a mini ascending triangle here right at this level until we broke out again higher. Here's how it looked on stamp. Same thing, 4 candles before the breakout, before the V-band break even, telling you to go long. And then as far as stops are concerned, I mentioned earlier, TK crosses aren't always the quickest for getting out of the trade, which is why I use, it's called Bill Williams fractals on TradingView. So how you play these, there's up and down fractals. I left the up fractals off because we're in a bull trend, so you don't need those for stops. So a bear fractal is a high, low, high. That makes a bear fractal. Now it doesn't print these until like this candle here. It would have printed this. So let's say you enter here, you're still looking for a stop. Your stop could be here. Then you'd move it here, okay? And you just hold it. You shut off the cloud as I did on this chart. You know the cloud says everything's bullish. You don't need it. This will roll over as a stop before the cloud will tell you to close the trade based on TK crosses. So you don't really need the cloud. So again, high, low, high, fractal prints, probably on this candle or this candle. You move your stop up here. Hold it, hold it, hold it. High, low, high, candle, fractal prints, and your stop would currently be somewhere at or below 7K CNY. And you can see it doesn't always print a fractal. I don't really know the math behind it. Like, why isn't this a fractal here? I don't know. Something else to notice on Stamp, their order book is thinner, I think, even now, than CNY. So, you know, this could have been a potential stop out, depending if you put it exactly at below the fractal or not. And again, you'd be potentially stopped out here if you're playing exactly below the fractal, which is why on one broker I like to place it a little below. Like for here, I would have placed it, you know, somewhere down here, and currently it would be down here. But I'm not in a trade, so I don't need to worry about that. That's everything for today. As usual, like, dislike, comment, subscribe, hit me up on Twitter, Telegram, share it up on social media, and happy trading.